If you are selling cold emails in 2025, you might as well get yourself a bartender license and start selling drinks on the street, because you will probably make more money doing that than actually selling cold emails services to broke business owners with no budget and a weak offer. A lot has changed in cold emails in the past years. Google has made deliverability almost impossible, and a lot of friends of mine previously running cold email agencies, they pivoted away. AI lead generation at scale has basically ruined the game forever. And guys, this is not something that I just heard, because I totally understand where the marketing is going. I have deep connection inside this industry. I've coached over 600 people in creating better outbound systems, and I am currently consulting one of the fastest growing scale-ups in the world. So let's check together why the game is broken, probably forever, and how you can repackage your skills in a more intelligent and more lucrative way. Now guys, let's dive in and let's check how cold emails changed from 2020 to today, and why it's getting more and more unprofitable, especially selling cold email systems. Okay, I just made this a very little table to make some comparisons in terms of numbers and KPIs of the cold email industry. This is cold email in 2020, this is in cold emails in 2025. Okay, let's start with reply rate. Reply rate, but this basically affects every channel, basically declined from 2020 to 2025, but this is a general rule of the universe, right? There's a very famous growth advisor, now investor, which is called Andrew Chen, that basically coined the term the low shitty click-through rate, which basically says that the more people use a channel and the more a channel is effective, the more you will attract other people trying to grow that way, and ultimately that channel will suck in terms of reply rates because everybody's using it and people basically stop being so sensitive in that channel. It happened to LinkedIn, to emails, to WhatsApp. This applies to every channel in the world and is the general rule of marketing, okay? But let's check the stats. So basically in 2020, it was even possible to get like 10% reply rate. Now the average is less than 1% reply rates. So just check about this. It means that you're getting 10x less results in general, okay? Let's check like an average campaign. You can actually get 10x worse results. It's huge and can totally impact like the profitability of an agency. If the channel decline, actually your agency and your margins will decline. It's really maths, right? Secondly, inbox competition. In 2020, there was no inbox competition at all. I remember that when I started sending cold emails, with my primary domain, I just email a bunch of CEOs of billion-dollar supermarkets, CEOs, and I got some replies. Now, try to do the same today if you get the same replies. It's almost impossible, I can guarantee. There's a lot of competition. An average VP sales of a B2B SaaS is probably getting 100 cold emails per day. I repeat, 100 cold emails per day, versus in 2020 was like 1, maybe 0. Volume per inbox, 100 per day. In 2020, it was you can basically send 100 emails and nobody will say nothing. No Google, no Outlook, and it was totally fine. Now, especially for outbound, we get to a point where from 100 it was 50 and then 25. Now it's like 10, the standard average. So with the same infrastructure, maybe with the same cost, if before you were able to actually send 100 and now you can actually send only 10, then there's a huge problem, right? Again, it will affect your profitability. Cost per address. The cost per address actually increase in a significant way, and it will increase again and again and again. Then barriers to entry. Why so many people are sending cold emails? Because now it's easy, guys, to send cold email, especially bad cold emails. Barrier to entries were very high. It was difficult in 2020 to send a lot of emails at scale. You need like a developer to actually understand what email was valid, send the right message. So emails at scale was all very expensive because you need many humans or super trained developers. Now it's zero. You go to instantly, you bring back some leads, you set up addresses, you send, and that's it. On top of this, guys, by the fact that I'm coaching so many people, there are a lot of people going out of business because they have no margins, because they are only selling cold email services, and maybe in the wrong way. I read some very interesting posts and official releases of very big cold email agencies that were losing a lot of revenue, a lot of profit, and all of them are considering to actually pivot in a different direction because cold email, guys, is getting less profitable, and especially running a cold email agency is getting less and less profitable. So guys, now that I basically showed you the data, the statistics of why cold email is getting less profitable, it's very difficult to argue against it. But what we can actually do instead is figuring out how we can repackage our skills and actually sell more intelligent and more lucrative services, or maybe if there actually is a way to make cold email or outbound in general more profitable and sustainable in the long run. Let's jump into it, and first of all, outbound is not cold emails, right? Well, in this video we are seeing together how cold emails as a service is getting tougher and tougher and way less profitable than it used to be. But luckily, Clay isn't a cold email tool, and you can repackage your own go-to-market engineering skills to actually sell a more intelligent, more lucrative service to B2B businesses. If you check the link in the description, I have documented all the ways in which I'm using Clay to deliver value to organizations. So click on the link, subscribe, and download all the resources. Yes, cold email is declining, but maybe it's way better to even send LinkedIn messages. Now we have solutions like HeyReach, where you can actually combine emails, and with HeyReach you can actually send LinkedIn DMs, and it's very scalable. Or maybe, in this case, you need a human, but you can even cold call these people. Let's say you are selling in a small team, I highly recommend to actually have a human to actually cold call these people. You need to price your service a little higher. Your client needs to actually have like an average order value of the product service a little bit higher, but it's still a solution. I have cold callers, guys, that are booking like 2 meetings per day. Per day is a lot, especially if you are in the mid-market. It's a lot and it can brings a lot of money, okay? Which are results that are impossible to actually deliver only with emails. Secondly, if you're really selling emails only, emails is cool because it's scalable. But a little trick that nobody knows to actually make the service profitable is selling to companies that first that they have a good offer. Secondly, that they are not selling to enterprises because it's very hard to go past the filters. Third, and basically, guys, nobody's telling you this, but it's a hard truth, you can actually sell to companies that have teams greater than 10,000 companies. Because even if you are so good with cold emails, let's say you're a genius and you've found a genius way to actually land every time in the inbox, your service in the long run will stop working if the team is small, because you basically finish after a week, after a month, the number of people that need your service and are responsive to that channel. But if you have 10,000 companies and maybe you have tens of thousands of people, maybe more, it doesn't finish, okay? You have enough replies to actually make this service sustainable for the long run. And on top of this is something that very few people actually figure out for some reasons, which is you can position your skills in a better way. Maybe you're using SmartLead, maybe you're using HeyReach. If you haven't checked clay.com, please go all in with clay.com, because it's here the real magic. You will figure out that repackaging a little bit your skills, you can actually turn your career from a general, average, and maybe broke to a super high-priced consultant working with B2B scale-ups and enterprising, selling go-to-market systems, not cold emails, not meetings. Because Clay is not a cold email tool. I have a lot of videos. My channel is about Clay, and if you check closely, especially the new videos, the new releases on Clay is going enterprise. So you can not just sell outbound, you can sell inbound lead enrichment services, you can sell CRM services. By the way, CRM is a billion-dollar, trillion probably dollar industry. Just CRM data cleaning is a billion-dollar industry. I met personally companies spending 6 figures per year in CRM cleaning, and guess what? You can repackage your skills to do a lot of CRM cleaning. ABM, account-based marketing, especially when you are in touch with companies that are bigger, selling maybe to big enterprises, fundraising, RevOps services, HR services. There are a lot of companies spending crazy amount of money in HR or in RevOps, and you can actually position Clay in a way that you can save a lot on the tech stack, deliver better data, better coverage, and actually make a bigger company more competitive, saving money and increasing revenue. I just want to end this video with just this use case because I think is huge, which is the CRM data cleaning use case, the one I told you that you can literally package this for 6 figures to a big enough company. And as you can see, you're using the same skills, list building, enrichment. You must have some knowledge about CRM, you must have to understand how to get in touch with decision maker of bigger companies and how to actually speak their language, but then you can be dangerous. Check just this. Let's say your client is using Salesforce or HubSpot, you have a lot of client lists. The problem is, guys, after 1 year in tech, 20% of the workforce will change job. So the CRM after 1 year, 20% is broken. After a couple of years, it's totally trash, and the companies are spending millions in CRM data. What you can do is you can create a routine so that you connect all the customer lists. In Clay, you have a way to actually monitor new job changes. There's like a way to actually click monitor new job changes. When you get all the new job changes from the CRM list, you can mark old contact as a left company, look up if the new contact already exists. If it doesn't exist, you create a new contact, you move it into a prospecting list, and you can actually activate account executive. For example, let's say that John is working at Apple and then John moved to Adidas. There must be a system inside of the company where it says, okay, John no longer works in Apple and he works in Adidas now. And you can actually create a Slack notification today saying, hey, pay attention because you previously had a relationship with John, now he's going inside a new company. It's the perfect moment to actually reach out to him and evangelize the service and the product. So it's both a system, keeping the CRM clean, and a way to actually generate more revenues, not even with cold outbound, with warm intros. Just this use case is huge, and I promise you there are companies out there that can actually pay 6 figures for this. You can this way reposition your career in a more lucrative, more intelligent way. You can actually start working with executives, VPs, become a real business owner or a real advisor, and literally bank millions. Guys, in this video we got a better understanding of the state of the cold email market in 2025, why it's getting tougher, and why so many people are going away from it. Some years ago I made a decision to bet all my career on Clay.com, become a go-to-market engineer, which is now one of the fastest growing jobs in tech. Just a couple of years later, I'm consulting the fastest growing companies in the world, and I am among the most in-demand growth advisors in the entire world. Now, if you want to understand how to use Clay.com, the most revolutionary ways I'm using it to deliver value to B2B companies, and how I'm actually banking millions thanks to Clay.com, check the video here. I'll see you over there.